Okay, I didn't do much. I just downloaded that one part. But anyway, I sewed this up. I put my zigzag. I did the same thing to the other side, and I zigzagged all the way up to the top of the elastic. But when I trim my seam, I'm only going to trim to that waistline. I'm not going to trim that elastic off, because when I tuck my waistband in, I'm going to want to cover that with my waistband. So I'm just going to trim this leg up to that point. Okay, and I left that elastic part intact. And you'll find out why later. Well, you'll see why anyway. Okay, so now we've got that done. We've got our two side seams, and because these are such small areas, we're going to want to do our hems on our legs right now. Get that done. Before we go any farther, though, you might want to give your crotch area a test to see if it lines up properly. So take your two crotch seams and line them up. Put a pin in them, and the reason I'm saying do this now is because if you're only a little bit off, you can go ahead and trim your legs to be in the right spot, so that in case they don't line up. For example, if my crotch didn't line up and it was sort of like this, I could just trim that off, because I'm like 1/8 of an inch. If it's more than 1/4 of an inch, I'd probably adjust the crotch area, but if it's just, something like that, I hope you can see that. If it's just something little like that, I would just cut that off. But anyway, this is the point where you want to see how well you lined up your pattern. So this is what you're looking for. Okay. Now let's say, for example, it's not like that, and you're looking at something like this. You have a problem this big. I remember about that one. Or on the same side where you're way off the mark. And it does tend to happen. Okay, so there's no way that you're going to want to cut that much fabric off, because even your legs aren't going to line up correctly. So what you can do is you can take one of your crotch areas. I'd probably start with the back, and go ahead and take your sewing machine and sew another crotch line. So I hope you can see this. So come down about 1/4 of an inch and sew this, because every 1/4 of an inch you sew, you're going to lose that much on each side. So that will also tighten up your leg seams. But hopefully it won't be more than that. But that's one option you can do. But you are going to lose that in the crotch area. But that's one way you can get your seam to line up better, by tightening it up. Well, I shouldn't say the back. You have to do it on whatever side that you have that loose fabric on. If it's on the front, then you're going to have to, if your front's larger than the back, it's the front you're going to have to tighten up. If your back is looser than the front, then you tighten up the back. So whichever side needs to be tightened is the side you're going to have to take in. Okay, but luckily it didn't happen on these pants. They all lined up evenly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in our hems for our legs before we put in our crotch seam, because it's easier that way. We're going to push all this extra fabric to the front, and we're going to hide that seam with our front waistband. So we're just going to cut that off, tuck it, and make our waistband. So we're going to want this leg seam to go to the right. Whichever way your elastic is going to turn to be covered is where we want that, because we don't want to go opposite like this. We want them in the same direction. So in this case, this one's going to go this way. So turn it under. I'm using like a little less than 1/4 of an inch seam, and I'm making my small leg hem. So same thing, you can use your ironing board and just iron these in, and it'll make them go real fast. Or you can just finger press them like I am and put in a pin to do your let me see what it actually is. So it's not 1/4 of an inch, it's 3/16 of an inch. 3/16. Yeah, 3/16. 4/8. Yeah. I'm terrible at math and calculations. I suppose you know that already. Yeah, you don't come here for a math lesson. Okay, there's one down. Let's go ahead and just put a seam in it. Oh, it's caught. I was afraid of that. Okay, let's try it again. If your machine gets jammed in the middle because of that fold of fabric, just give it a little gentle tug. Oh, yeah, and a little bit of a fabric jam. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it now, but if I was going to do this, I'd take that out and resew it. But okay, all right, I'll just trim it. All right, let's go ahead and reinforce it since I've already cut the thread off of it. Better. Yeah, better. Okay, if I was being real fussy, I would have taken out that whole seam and redid it, but I'm not that fussy. Okay, so one leg down, one to go. So same thing, we're going to turn it and we're going to see which way the elastic is going to be tucked under, and that is going to be this way. So this one is going to go that way. So let's go ahead and turn that again and again and put in our pin. now we're going to sew this side. Okay, so put your in, go back space. Okay, it caught. Uh-oh. Probably have another mess. Yep. Okay, did it again. You know what? It's probably the needle. If I was using the denim needle, I wouldn't be getting that problem here. So that's something to think about when you're going over this many layers of fabric, but we'll give it another go. Jammed again. Yeah, it's jammed. Okay, I'm going to shut down because I really made a mess. Nah, I didn't. I'm just going to keep going. Alright, I'll just clean this up by hand later when I'm not filming. Okay, get my machine restarted. Trials and tribulations. Okay, so let's see how bad it looks. Not too bad. Is that the right side, or this was the right side? This is it. Alright, I'm going to give it one more go. I stopped in the middle. Not great, but it'll do. Okay. Alright, so now we've got that, so now we're going to put our crotch together, our inseam. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that when we line this up, we're going to turn this one this way and this one the opposite way. So line up your crotches, your front to your back. Okay, line up your legs. Other side. This side. Okay, so we are going to sew our inseam together. That is this seam through the middle. Okay, you want to make sure that that one side's on one side and the one you're looking at is in the right direction too. Alright, so all that's left now is to zigzag it and trim it down, and then we will turn it inside out and work on the waistband. So let me do the last seam here. Hard time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Maybe this isn't my day to sew. Anytime you try to go fast, have you noticed that? You always make a mess. That's my experience. Try to go fast or show somebody how to do something and forget it. It doesn't work. Yeah, something's wrong here. I got a problem in my bobbin. Okay, let's see. Let me start from the other side. Layers of fabric.
That was it.
Okay, I'm not going to sew anymore on that one spot because it's got more than enough thread to last a lifetime. Okay, so there's that, and I'm going to trim my seam. So this is the inseam. Okay, there's that. Let's try it on before we go any further and see how it looks. Okay, how'd they turn out? Well, that's them. What do you think? A little on the wild side? Let's see how she looks with her hat on. Okay, so there she is. Can you see it? I wonder if you can. Let me see if you can see it. Let me see if I can get her hat going better. Oh, you can't see her too good. Okay, well there she is with her pants. Okay, I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to shut down and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do the waistband. And that's going to finish up these pants completely. Yeah, they're a little on the wild side, but there you go. Okay, I'll be right back.